This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard.
I'll give an inconvenient answer because I don't think the term indie game is particularly useful. I think initially it kind of meant like bedroom coder or something like that, but I think we're moving away from that and the term is just becoming kind of useless because anyone can make games now, what with Unity, stuff like Twine that's opening up possibilities for people who've never made games before to start, really creating content in this space. And I think, like, what's an indie game, what isn't? Stuff like Monument Valley, like they had a big team, their budget was like $1 million, but people would call them indie. So it's like, well, what is it like? Where do you draw the line? I think most of the people that I chat with and spend time with kind of see themselves as indie developers. So I guess I'm one by proxy. I'd say I was for Stanley Parable, but now that we've got a bit of capital behind us and I'm able to like work with more people and bring people on and pay them salaries, I think that maybe the term indie game developer maybe doesn't apply to me. I'm not sure, but then again I said the term's useless, so it doesn't matter. Oh yeah, definitely. Certainly, I think that since this is such a new medium, games, like compared to film or art or literature, I think what's really great about games is that in my short time as being like an indie games developer, I've seen Greenlight come about, I've seen more shop fronts open, like itch.io, the ability to get your stuff out there is just increasing more and more, and I think that's probably the biggest change that I've seen during my time. Well, I think part of it's about financial risk, that companies who have to pay their employees a salary don't want to risk that salary on something that they don't know is going to work, and that's part of being responsible as a company and helping your employees, keep a wage. But I also think that we've certainly seen games like Gone Home, Papers, Please, and the Stanley Parable pave the way for maybe companies with a bit of money to throw money behind projects that maybe aren't traditional. And I don't know. When you say mainstream, I don't exactly know what. Well, yeah, it's like with shops, with shop fronts opening up, and with more online distributors kind of coming about. You can get your game out there in any kind of way, and you can sell, and you can make a profit. So I think, from a business perspective, I think it kind of already is mainstream. Yeah, virtual reality is weird. It's kind of crept up on us a bit. I suppose I'd think that maybe VR is a different kind of way of experiencing games. I know that certainly no one's going to have VR in their homes consistently for people to make games to sell for VR. So maybe it's going to turn out to be something like something that'll be an installation in galleries, or maybe something that you'll find in places like this, or theatres for something like immersive theatre mixed with games. I think as we see more and more people come into the industry, it's just going to explode with new and weird ideas.
Cut the music, go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.